Welcome to Leicester Fan TV. Yes, it is Reedy, not Phil, as Phil took my show off yesterday. I was busy, so I am back today. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're doing good. Get your comments and get your views in. There's a lot to talk about tonight, mainly Sean Dyche. Do you think he's right for us? Do you think he'll improve us? Do you not think he'll improve us? Get your views and get your comments in. As everyone says, hello, Phil. Appreciate you coming in, and we'll catch you straight after the intro. Let's go.
The Leicester City machine is on the march again.
Leicester Fan TV presents a variety of content like fan discussions, match analysis, and engaging with Leicester fans worldwide. We want your views live, thanks to our sponsors, Everard's, Pucker Pies, Hologram, Take Me, Newbie & Co, and the Fox's Arms.
Want to watch more content like this? Hit the like button. Give us your views. Hit subscribe to Leicester Fan TV and make sure to follow Leicester Fan TV on all socials.
Yes, how are we all doing? I appreciate you coming in on this Monday night. Again, there's apparently been a lot of talk about the King Power business side of things. If you've got any information on that, please let me know. I've been running around everywhere tonight trying to get this ready for tonight's show, just in time. Obviously, no shirt, just in my work clothes, so might as well do it there. Appreciate you coming in. Evening, Clibo. If you want to join me, please give me let me put the link in the chat for you to all come in if you want to come and get your say. But the reason I wanted to do tonight's show with what the title is in, do you think Dyche will improve us? There's been a lot of controversy on who wants to be in the manager job, who the fans want, what people do want going forward. Yeah, and Neil, I will speak about that a bit later. Again, if you've got any information on the club side of things, as in the King Power side of things, let me know. Appreciate if you can. But we are talking about Dyche today because we've had a big discussion in at work today while working, of course. But we're talking about what is the progression with Leicester City? What do we think needs to happen to get us back to where a lot of fans want us to be and whatnot? And I was saying that for me, going for someone like Dyche, which apparently is the room that he is coming in, for me, isn't the right choice. And there's going to be a lot of people saying you need to stabilise the club. He will be a no shit manager. I get the point of that, but for me, I don't know. I've got a presumption in my head of how he is and how he is as a manager. I might be wrong. People will say that he can adapt with maybe a better team. He might be good for us because we've got better players than the teams he did have with, like Burnley in the Championship, things like that. We've got better wingers, better midfielders. Will he change it up? Will he not be a defensive manager? But the assumption I've got is he's going to be very defensive. We're not going to be playing that passing style of play, which I know a lot of people don't like, which I get. I do like, and obviously I'm going to try and forward my narrative to play that way. I know it doesn't do well in the Premier League, which I get the point of that. But the progression side of things in how we want to go forward with the club, for me, someone like Danny Roll would have been a bit more of a positive appointment. I don't know, because again, people say that Sean Dyche has done a lot more than what Roll has, and what credentials does Roll have to say he's good enough for the Championship to win it and then go and do well in the Premier League? He obviously doesn't, but I don't know. Obviously, I know it's going to be like 50-50 or even more, maybe 60-40 to pointing at Danny Roll, that Sean Dyche should be in charge. I get the point of it. Andy says here, Danny says, no nonsense manager, and we'll go back to basics. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying I'm wrong. I'm just saying my opinion. Going back to basics might work, but when it comes back to the Premier League, we need to think of a solution to firstly stay in the Premier League, which Sean Dyche could do it, but we've got to get to that bit first by going back up. And then it's the point of, is he our long-term manager? No. Is he a 2-year, make sure we get up, go straight back up, stay up, and then we look for something forward? I get the point of that, but the bit that I don't think in my mind is going to work is the fact that Sean Dyche is going to take us up in the first place. That's my point of view. I will get more comments in. Clio has joined, so I'll get him on very soon. We'll get a few comments in to start very quickly before we bring him in. Rich Collins, evening. How we doing? Let's hope Dyche can get Leicester back to where we want to be, mate. If he does the job and he gets us back to the Premier League and he keeps us up, that was the aim either way. I just had my mindset on. I don't think he can do it, but if he does, I'll say to myself I was wrong, but I would still prefer someone else in. Right now, I think I'd still have Reedy over Sean Dyche, but that's just because I think most managers would probably do the job in the Championship, but for my personal reasons, I just want to see the better style of football. And I know it was woeful in the Premier League with Reedy, but in the Championship, I don't think it would be that difficult with the players we do have. And that's what I'm saying. Again, I'll get other people's side of views on it. I don't know what Clibo's views on it when I get him on, but we've got to have to see as well. Matty Bond, how we doing, mate? Appreciate you coming in. Andy Danny's then, yeah, no nonsense manager. Yeah. Let's face it, beggars can't be choosers. Who else out there is better and no conversation needed? No, I understand someone like Danny Rowe would have to be paid out of the club. And beggars can't be choosers. In my opinion, we got Cooper because we had no other choice. We went for Potter. He turned us down, so our only other choice really was Cooper at the time. And did it turn out wrong? I don't know. We're never gonna know. We're never gonna know if he could have kept us up if we didn't sack him. I think his job was on the wall anyway, because I don't think the players really wanted him to stay after that party and whatnot as well. It is what it is. Mark Langham says, bring the Ginger Warrior. You know what? I know that he will sort the team out. I just think the style of play for me, I don't know, because I don't want to put my opinion out there thinking it's the only option, because it's not. I get people want him and think he will be good for us in the short term, or maybe even the long term, but I'm not sure. Wayne, appreciate you coming in, mate. He might be the only choice. Maybe so. Maybe Danny Rowe, either we can't afford to pay him out or whatnot. There was rumours that he was our first choice at some point, but now it's coming out to say that, I don't know. The last comment we'll bring up before we bring Clibo in is Michael saying, you're on another planet, Reedy. Dyche's record speaks for itself. Does it though? I don't know. I look back at it and think, yes, he kept teams up in the Premier League because that's why he wasn't in the Championship. But the last time he brought a Championship team up was the year we won the league in the Premier League. For me, that's a very long time away. That was 10 years ago. And it might be very controversial to say, I think it might be harder to get out of the Championship than it is to stay up in the Premier League. Am I wrong? Put your views in the comments. I might get absolutely lambasted for that. But other than last year, where we nearly walked the Championship with the team we had, I think it's quite hard to get out of the Championship either way. If we're a better team, obviously it'd be a bit easier. But I don't know. Clibo, we'll bring you in now, mate. Let me just turn this comment off. Clibo, mate, how are we doing?
I'm all right. Yourself, Reedy?
Yeah, I'm good. Just trying to get through all this footballing news and whatnot. What's your thoughts on Sean Dyche? Because again, Phil talked about it yesterday, saying, "Is it the best option?" I want to know: do you think it'll improve it? I don't know, because there's so many different opinions out there. What's your take on it right now? Would you like Sean Dyche, or is there anyone else that you really think probably would be better for the job?
I think it's difficult to give a straight yes, no, black or white. I think there's a lot of contributing factors. There's lots of things we don't know about what's going on at the club, which would obviously influence the board on their decision. Financially, we've heard about the the King Power situation, little bits here and there. So everyone really is just kind of making up in their own head their own scenarios. I cannot stand Sean Dyche as a person. He irritates me just by looking at him. However, football is a short-term plan now. Because that's just the way it's gone. So if you're saying to me we're getting rid of Rude, I would stick with Rude personally. If we're getting rid of Rude, what do we need? Do we need a long-term plan where a manager's going to play pretty football but take 3 years to get out of the Championship, which we cannot possibly do?
No, I agree with that, yeah.
Sean Dyche will not play the prettiest of football, although he did say he did say in an interview once that he's never had the team to do it and that he would do it, play more progressive football.
But maybe that's where my perception of him comes from, because of, like I say, he's never been with a team in the upper half of a Premier League or in another league where you'd say it should be easier for him. But I don't know. I just the first thing I think of is Sean Dyche is very defensive, not pretty football, which I know a lot of people don't want pretty football anyway. But it just maybe I have to be shown that he can do something with a better team for me to be like, fair enough. Yeah, but
he's been typecast. But being typecast, if you're an actor or anything like that, you're typecast in a role. It means you've been successful at what you've done. Now he's been successful at keeping teams in the Premier League and getting people promoted. Now I've seen an interview on what was it? It was like the Mercury or Leicestershire Live, and basically saying he's okay with being given a couple of years to get promoted, stay up, whatever, and then a fashionist, I think he called it, coming in, taking over him. So if he's okay with that, I'm okay with that. He's not the kind of manager I think that most people would go, this is how our club progresses. But you have to look at it in the sense, if you want your club to progress from the position it's in, maybe he's the type of manager that you have to have in order for that progression to start. So I threw my dummy out when I heard that, he was in the running. I still don't.
I did too. Yeah.
But I had to sit and be a little bit more rational about it, and I think having sat down for a few days and thought potentially this man might come in, I had to start thinking about the positives, and I'm in agreement with you. The football would bore me to tears if he played the way that we've seen him in firefighting situations, but we don't know.
No, that's the thing that we've got to be shown to be proven wrong, because again, there's many people out there that do want him. There's Leicester wants him in now. Like I say, he could really prove us wrong. I'm not trying to say my opinion's right. I'm not saying anyone's opinion's right or wrong. It's all opinions. But I think the other thing that I'm kind of worried about when it comes to someone like Sean Dyche coming in, again, it's perception, and it's what we've known from the past, is transfer windows this summer. If he gets some players in, will he be more opposed to going for more experienced players like an Ayew or Bobby Reed, or will he, when he goes to his first game, if he is managing Leicester, who will he put in that first choice lineup? Does he go for the more experienced players again, like Ayew and Bobby Reed, or does he go for the Mabadis or Fataroos, who majority of us would say easily first time?
Well, here's what I think. Top has already come out and said that he wants the more Enzo style football. He's come out. He's in charge of the steering wheel at that club. And I also think that part of that deal is to progress the youngsters. I think that's obvious the way the club is going. No other season would you make a big deal of signing 9 youth players. That's usually just something that's at the end of a Mercury interview. So I think that's something that the club, whatever manager comes in, will be told, you develop these youth. However, in the Championship, I can see Decordova, Reed and Ayew playing quite a significant role in helping along those youngsters. Now, I'm not against that. I mean, like Monga, he's 15. However talented he is, you can't play him for 46 games. The guy's bones are still growing.
No, yeah.
Are still growing. So we're going to need these kind of players. Personally, love to see Cody, Fass, Vestergaard, and all those kind of players gone. But I think, although I don't rate Bobby Reed very much, I think in the Championship he can pop up with the odd goal, the odd bit of creativity. I use Wiley Old Fox. I think they'll benefit the Championship. The rest of them get lost. But like I said, I don't think a manager, whoever, will come in and just. I mean, we're Leicester City. Why would you sit with a low block? No,
I understand. Yeah, and that's where for me, I'm just on the fence. I need to be proven wrong because, like I say, people in the office were saying, "Oh, you've got to give him a chance," and I'm like, if he does come in, I'm gonna have to give him a chance because there's no other option. But right now, where we've got a choice of. We don't have to go for him. We could go for someone else. I'd be like, I prefer a different option to him. But I don't know. Again, this is my view. I'm not going to say, like, he could be proving me wrong he could win most games of this next season. But I don't know. Like I say, with the youngsters, is he the sort of manager that will use youngsters or go for more experienced heads? From presumptions, I would say he'd probably go for more experienced heads. I don't know.
Well, let me put it to you then. And just playing devil's advocate.
Go on.
Who would you say would do a better job given the circumstances that we need to happen? And when we're talking finances, promoted, playing a better style, being able to progress with that style in the Premier League. Because I don't think you'll be able to name one.
I've got options that I would probably prefer, but again, like you said, with the reasons we need to bring someone in to do a job, like I say, for instance, if it's Danny Rowe, you got to have to pay him out. That's more money out of the club.
And it's a risk.
Sorry?
And it's a risk.
It is a big risk, and the only reason I'd say is him is because of the likes of Enzo came in and did a job. I know it's a gamble. Rude was a gamble. But again, I don't know. I don't know. It's me wanting the prettier football. I want to enjoy football, even if it means we lose a couple more games. I don't know, because I know the sole aim is to get back in that Premier League and stay up this time. So maybe Sean Dyche is the only manager that's available and free that could do the job. I'm just very worried that he might not even be able to do that first part before we even get to the Premier League. I don't know.
I don't think there's another manager that's got the experience of points deductions and making a team work. That's where I think maybe if these rumours are true, here's what I think. I think the media are making stuff up because they're hearing nothing from Leicester City. They're being very tight-lipped. And it's an unusual situation. I mean, I know somebody very, very in the know, close to the club, within the club. I can't reveal sources.
No, I'm not going to tell you to, mate. Don't worry.
but like the Wilder thing, when that came up, I know that was bullshit.
Yeah.
That was never an option. And I also knew that, what's his name, gone to Rangers? Martin, yeah. Yeah, I knew that was a load of crap as well. This one, I can't get any information on at the moment. But
is that because it could be something very, very likely?
Oh, it's because I've not had contact with the person.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, fair enough.
But I mean, I can't reveal sources, but it's a really good one. I mean, really. That's appreciate you giving it as much info as possible. But like I say, I'm not trying to say my option is the only option. I'm going to keep saying that because I don't want people to think that is the only right answer. I know people do want him, and this is what this whole show is about, getting people's opinions on Sean Dyche. I think if there's anything I could probably say that he is a good reason for us,
is, like you said, he has passed in getting teams up. He's passed at keeping teams up in the Premier League as well. People saying, "Oh, he got Europe. He can't be that bad." I don't know. Obviously, I have seen him on the overlap or whatever it was on Sky sometimes, and said he always plays the way with with the ability of the players he's got. So with better players, like you said, he could do a better job. But from again presumptions say he'll just do but what he thinks 4-4-2, lob it up front. That's what I know of Sean Dyche. I'm not saying that is what it is completely because he's never been at a team, or maybe then Everton, who at times could have probably done more of a job. But is there anything you could say that other than what I've said that is a positive for him to come in?
Well, yeah, because I mean, like I said at the beginning of the stream, I can't stand the guy.
No, I can't either. But it's his voice for me. It's his voice.
Makes me want to flick my eyeballs. You know, I just can't stand the bloke. But you have to say that given the fact that most of his life he's been given very tough, grueling situations, firefighting, maybe the guy wants to do something with a talented bunch of people. Yeah. I'm just surmising again. But I think if you was him, that's something that you would think, well, I want to do something differently. I want, you know, I'm not just a one-trick pony. I don't think Top interviews the guy. The guy says, yeah, I'm going to play really defensive football, long ball over the top. We haven't got Jamie Vardy anymore, so that can't work.
No.
You know, we've not got much to spend, but look, we've got these very creative young kids mixed with a reasonable amount of experience, because we're not going to sell all those experienced players. We know that.
No.
Here's a chance to go, you know, make your mark on the team. I think that's a decent. I think the guy likes a bit of. I think he likes a bit of firefighting. You know, I think that's in his DNA. But I think a manager worth his salt would like to be able to play good football.
Yeah, no, I think I remember him saying one big line in the overlap or wherever he was on, and he was saying that, I'm pretty sure he said, I'm trying to think what he said now. I was about to say something now, I forgot. Go on, keep going. You were saying about he wants to play better football. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean I've heard him, you know, say, you know, this is basically what people hire me for, you know. Not
that was what I was going to say. Yeah, if he's getting appointed for a job, he knows what the situation is. He knows he needs to get them out of trouble. That is basically what he said. So,
but that goes back to what I said. He's been typecast in that role.
Yes,
because that's what he's been successful at.
Yes,
because that's the situations he's been in. But being typecast means you are successful.
Yeah, he obviously goes into that job because he knows he's good at doing that. But that's where, on the other hand, is that what we need in a way of, is he coming in to do that job, or is he coming to do a different job this time? Is this his first job really for a while that is not to stay up, it's to go up in a way? Well, and obviously the last time he went up was 10 years ago.
I think the premise will be get us up then
stay up.
Listen, I hate the Championship. I've got nothing. I just can't stand it. You know, I think the last game in the Championship I attended was QPR at home, and I can't tell you how bored and how fed up I was by about the 80th minute, and it was just repeated patterns of fail. And like, I remember Mabadidi. I sat behind the goal and he kept coming down the left-hand side, and they just dragged this massive, great big oaf on and just took him out of the game. And they were just doing the same, and it just bored me. And I thought to myself, this crap team of old thudders are outmaneuvering us, and that's the Championship. So I want to get out of it if we play. I don't care. I don't care if the goalkeeper takes one touch and scores. I don't care. Get us out of that league. Because financially, That's what we need. I don't
No.
want, I'm not asked about pretty football next season. I'm not asked.
I've said as well, as much as my preference and I'd like to see prettier football, even if it does, like I say, we've seen it happen before with Enzo. It did work. Again, if we go up, realistically, I might moan a few times saying, "Oh, we're not doing anything a bit more faster paced or whatnot." But if as long as we get up, that is the only aim, like you said. I will ask this last question before you, because obviously before you came on, I asked the question to the chat as well. Again, I might get lambasted for it. Do you think it's harder to stay up in the to get up in the championship?
No.
No. You think it's easier to go up in the championship than to stay up in the Premier League? Okay.
And not by a little bit, by a long way.
Do you reckon? Because I think of the past in the championship, because a lot of people kept saying it's bloody hard to get out of the championship half the time. But maybe it's getting easier now with the teams that are coming down because, again, they've been in the Premier League for maybe a couple of years, or they keep getting more money coming in, going back and up and down. Maybe they're just, there's a lot of teams now just too good to even be anywhere close to being in the championship. But I don't know.
Well, I think that like 1 year down, like that 1 year down took us back 5 years.
Yeah.
This time we don't have the same quality in the squad as we did with Enzo.
I've said it's quite close. Again, you've lost the likes of Vardy, which I know is massive. Yeah. But again, I think with the Fatawu, Mavadidi, I think if you had El Kanu still, I'd say that you'd probably do, other than the passion side of it, I think El Kanu's in the championship could be close to doing the levels of goals and assists as what someone like Dewsbury Hall did. Yeah, I'm not saying he won't or will. I'm just saying that with the quality he has compared to the passion that Dewsbury Hall had, I think that's to the level. I think the biggest issue in the difference of that is probably Vardy.
But look at the difference. So you can get up in the championship with the right ingredients. Yeah. You get up. Kieran Dewsbury Hall goes to Chelsea, hardly plays a minute in the Premier League. Mm-hmm. He was a star for us. Yeah. That's the difference. And I think every single year now, the three that go up will be the favourites to come down. Yeah.
Because you just can't keep on. You can't keep hold of the better players once you've got them. Like I said, what was the last player we lost other than, like, I'm trying to think of Dewsbury Hall, but who did we lose the last time he came up into the Premier League? I know it was a while now, but did we lose anyone quite high level that was very good for us? And then, I don't know.
I'm old, mate. Your brain's a lot closer to that era than mine.
I'm trying to think. I'm just trying to think if there's any players that, like I say, were very good for us in the championship, and then really we just lost it because the players left.
I think I don't care if I've got to the point now. If we get promoted and we have to sell our best players, I don't care, because what you've got to do is get to each signpost. Mm-hmm. And you have to negotiate those signposts. If that means selling to progress, then I'm okay with that, because we've learned our lesson.
Fair enough, mate.
But that's the way it is.
Right, I'm gonna ask you one last question because we've had a lot of chat about it as well, and then I'll let you go. Yeah. No, yes or no? El Kanu, will he stay or will he go?
He stays.
I hope so. I've already called it that he's going to be the player of the season in the championship next season if he stays.
If he doesn't, this is what I'm calling just before I go. If he goes, my player of the season will be Alves.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, again, he probably would take his place if he did go. I'm just saying that if he doesn't go, I think El Kanu could wipe the floor with the championship. I think he's that high level than what he needs to be in the championship. So, but yeah, Clibbo,
ball away.
Go on, mate. As long as he stops
giving the ball away.
Hey, he's young. He's got to do it sometimes, isn't it? Appreciate Clibbo for coming on. Get your views and comments in for the end of the show. Clibbo, appreciate you coming on, and we'll catch you hopefully on the next show at some point. Appreciate all your time. See you in a bit, mate.
No problem. In a bit.
And there we go, guys. That is the end of the show. Again, get your views in, get your comments in very quickly before we do finish. Tony Smith says a signed Dyche is coming. You never know. Dorco says his PSI is wrapping up poor clubs. Yeah. History speaks for itself. Self all up down. Yeah. I did see a comment from Terence. Got my ticket for the Peterborough friendly. Are they still available? I spoke about it today. I want to get some tickets. I know there was like 500 available. Are they still available? Is it hard to get? I might get them. Might not. Let me know if you can before I finish. But yeah, let me know. Alves won't get in under Dyche. You never know. And that, again, that's all opinion based, isn't it? Again, I don't see the youngsters coming in. Terence has sold out. Thank you. Didn't really mind. But I'll be going to Florentina if that's still available. So you never know. Appreciate you all coming on. And we'll catch you all on the next show on, I'm guessing, Sunday, because we don't do a show on Thursday anymore. So Sunday I will be back because Jamie is still off. Phil won't be taking over. I'll be back, so make sure you get your views and comments in on that. And Leuven's still available. Appreciate you telling me that as well, Patrick. And we'll catch you all on the next show. So I'll catch you all soon. Bye bye.
The Leicester City machine is on the march again.
Leicester Fan TV presents a variety of content like fan discussions, match analysis, and engaging with Leicester fans worldwide. We want your views live, thanks to our sponsors, Everard's, Pucker Pies, Hologram, Take Me, Newbie & Co, and the Fox's Arms.
Want to watch more content like this? Hit the like button. Give us your views. Hit subscribe to Leicester Fan TV and make sure to follow Leicester Fan TV on all socials.